No one saw it coming. King Charles, the man groomed for the crown since birth, just made the most radical move the monarchy has seen in over a century. It wasn't ceremonial, it wasn't polished, and it definitely wasn't what the palace expected. In a speech that interrupted regular programming across the UK, Charles delivered a national address unlike any before. Not a pre-recorded Christmas message, not a gentle royal update. This was raw, honest, and explosive. In the span of just 10 minutes, he challenged everything the crown stands for, shaking not just the walls of Buckingham Palace, but the very idea of royalty itself. What he said didn't just make headlines, it made history. And if you thought the royal family was unshakable, think again. The setting was deceptively simple. A quiet room inside Clarence House, the Union Jack behind him. No royal fanfare, no crown in sight. Charles appeared alone, seated, stoic. But there was something different in his eyes. Not weakness, not fatigue, but resolution. From the first sentence, it was clear this wasn't going to be business as usual. He didn't begin with pleasantries or political boilerplate. He began with grief, the loss of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, the immense weight of expectation. The question he claimed haunted him every day since ascending the throne. What does it mean to be king in a world that no longer worships the crown, but questions it? And then, with a calm voice and steely conviction, he dropped the first bombshell. The monarchy, as we know it, must change. Not abolish, but transform. Charles didn't waste time. He announced a sweeping plan to shrink the monarchy, not symbolically, but structurally. Effective immediately, only the core family would retain official roles. Himself, Queen Camilla, Prince William, Princess Kate, and their children. Every other title, under review. Every royal expense, to be audited publicly. No more obscure dukes riding the taxpayer's dime. No more inflated ceremonies for cousins with no constitutional relevance. He called it a necessary reset, a monarchy that serves, not absorbs. And just when the room thought it couldn't get more surreal, it did. Charles declared he would be personally relinquishing control of several royal estates, starting with Balmoral and Sandringham, two of the crown's most historic properties. But he wasn't passing them to William. He wasn't selling them to wealthy donors. He was donating them to the nation, to be repurposed as museums, environmental research centers, and even affordable housing. The land, he said, must serve the people. It was a moment no one anticipated, not even his closest aides. This wasn't just asset redistribution, it was symbolic sacrifice, a monarch releasing his grip on privilege. And then came what many consider the most shocking part of the entire broadcast. Charles apologized. Not a vague, PR-written non-apology. Not a half-hearted statement hidden behind royal language, but a direct, brutally honest acknowledgement that the monarchy had become disconnected, arrogant even, and had failed to listen. He said word for word, "I have heard you. I have read your criticism. I have seen the anger. And you are right to feel let down. No British monarch has ever said anything like that publicly. It was either madness or a masterstroke." But the king wasn't finished. The room fell silent as he introduced something unprecedented in British history, a dual monarchy. Under this new model, Prince William would become a full co-head of state, not in name only, but in constitutional power. He would take over international diplomacy, Commonwealth relations, and public outreach. Charles would retain ceremonial duties but step back from global affairs. This wasn't abdication. It was reinvention. A modern monarchy for a modern world. Two kings in one crown. And yet, as controversial as it sounded, Charles made it clear. This wasn't optional. The monarchy must evolve, or it would collapse. The king then addressed the elephant in the room. Rising Republican sentiment. He quoted recent polls showing growing disillusionment with the monarchy, not just among young people, but across demographics. He didn't fight back. He didn't spin it. He agreed. The monarchy, he said, had become more symbol than service, more pageantry than purpose. But instead of clinging to the past, Charles offered a solution: tear it down from within and rebuild it from the roots up. That moment marked a total ideological shift. Within 72 hours, the fallout had begun. Buckingham Palace confirmed that emergency legislation was already being drafted. The new law would codify the dual monarchy and strip dozens of minor royals of their titles, homes, and privileges. No title without work, no perks without purpose. Perhaps most shocking, a new public oversight council was proposed, made up of citizen-elected officials who would review the monarchy's budget, performance, and transparency once a year. If the monarchy didn't meet those standards, its funding could be cut, public duties reassigned, ceremonial roles slashed. For the first time ever, the royal family would be accountable to the people. To take it one step further, Charles announced a national digital survey. It asked 3 simple but world-shaking questions. 1. Should the monarchy continue? 2. What should it look like? 3. How should it serve you? The survey went viral. Within 48 hours, over 15 million people responded. The initial results? 72% support a modernized monarchy. 1% support a full dual monarchy. 9% want the monarchy abolished completely. But the most stunning stat: 92% said this was the first time they had ever felt heard by the royal family. That single number hit like a thunderclap. Behind palace gates, the reform machine is already grinding into motion. Charles has been holding private daily meetings, not just with royal advisors, but with historians, economists, sociologists, and even anti-monarchists. He's not defending the crown. He's deconstructing it, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Prince William is already preparing for his new role. Reports say he's developing civic tech platforms, youth leadership initiatives, and even a traveling People's Council that will tour the UK, listening to grievances firsthand. It's bold, it's modern, and it's never been done. And if you thought the crown had no more cards to play, think again. Sources inside Parliament now confirm that Charles is quietly considering rewriting the coronation oath, the sacred pledge every monarch has made for centuries. The original oath swears allegiance to God, the Church, and empire. The new version, a promise to the people, a pledge of service, transparency, and unity, not divine right. If approved, this wouldn't just mark reform, it would mark rebirth. The symbolic death of monarchy as we know it, and the birth of something completely new. And so, here we are. A monarchy divided, a nation holding its breath, a king who waited his entire life to reign, and is now rewriting the rules of kingship itself. Charles isn't fighting to preserve the past. He's risking everything to shape the future. Some call it courageous, others call it chaos. But one thing is clear. This isn't about titles. It isn't about crowns or castles. It's about identity, about power, about a country redefining what it means to be led. And the next chapter of the monarchy, it might not have a throne at all.